I only had one indicator that I could use, just one, it would have to be VWAP. Think of VWAP as an elastic band, right? The further you pull that elastic band, the more chance it's got of coming back into play, right? Because elastic bands, they want to be, well, the most natural position for elastic bands is just not pulled, right? But as you pull that tension on an elastic band, the further and further away it gets, the more tension gets built. And so on a VWAP, what you're looking at here, you can see that white line there in the center. Now that white line in the center is VWAP, right? That's the elastic band in its most comfortable position. No one's pulling on it. What these lines represent are standard deviations. So that's each time you put pressure on that elastic band and pull it further and further away, the more resistance it's going to pull to come back into its normal position, right? And so if you watch, this is just a typical day where we'll press play and we'll see what happens each time the band gets expanded, right? And that lazy band just gets pulled. And as a trader, as a scalper specifically, we're looking at ways in which we can reverse on the market. That's what I look for. And so what I'm looking for is when that tension gets really pulled and how often that comes back into its de-energized state. And let's press play and let's just see what happens. We're just on the 5 minutes here. You can see quite easily we've come and tagged that band, come back into its normal position. We've done it here, come back into its normal position, tagged it here, come back into its normal position, tagged it here, come back into its normal position. And so what you see constantly, what happens is this movement, right, where you see the elastic band getting stretched. When it gets stretched too far, comes back in, comes down to the downside, comes back in, always wanting to come back into its balanced state. And so just with an elastic band and VWAP, you can do a lot of good things, right? You can look at when the price gets expanded from balance to out of balance and then back into play. Give it a shot, back test it, have a look. I use standard deviations 2 and 3. They're the most widened of the elastic bands. And if you kind of think about it like that, there's a lot more to it, right? Standard deviations, which I won't go into, but just for ease of understanding, just think of it as an elastic band. The further the price gets away from VWAP, the more chance it's going to come back in because it doesn't like to be stretched too much.